All right, the time is now 6:05, so we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you all for joining us. We are recording this meeting. This is our Tran community input session, and we are going to be talking about the proposed changes coming in August of 2026. Presenting today is going to be Davida Mueller. She is the Director of Service Planning at Tran. Go ahead, Davida.
Thank you, Luz. Again, welcome everybody to our input session. You want to change the slide, Luz? We're going to be talking about a new on-demand zone 3, these different routes, and then our new bus stop improvement project. So if you haven't used Sun On Demand yet, we have 2 zones. One is west of I-10, and the other is Tucson Marketplace area from Park to Campbell or Keno. So in these 2 zones, right now, if you were to use our Sun On Demand app, you can request a trip. You can plan it in advance, or you can get it right now. It's about a 30-minute wait, same as a fixed route. This is a supplemental service for the fixed route and paratransit services. So this service, the great thing about it is you can be picked up at your business or your home and taken to another location within the same zone. Or you can be taken to a bus stop if you want to leave the zone. And so what we're planning is on the east side, a third zone, on-demand zone 3 or the east side zone. And it'll approximately go from Speedway to 22nd Street, from Wilmot to Houghton Road. It's not as defined as the rectangle shows, but it gives you a good sense of where it'll be because some of our roads are not as straight as our north, south, east, west. So you want to go to the next one?
Yeah, so I'm watching something on my bus route, so.
Next one, Luz. So now we're going to talk about Route 4. So one of the all of these changes came out of our comprehensive operation analysis, which we did from 2022 through 2024. It was a very public back and forth process, and it looked at how do we improve our routes, how do we improve our operations, make it more effective, more efficient. It's what we call a cost neutral plan, in that the miles and hours that we had available when we started will have the same when we end. And one of the routes that was recommended was the Route 4, was to take that leg that goes down Kolb Road and transfer it to a different route, in fact, Route 9. And then the portion, because we're also going to look at a change to Route 8, and that portion that goes up to Udall on the Route 8, we would like to put it on the Route 4. So in our COA recommendation, it was that we do Wilmot Road to Udall. That's the first one at the top of the page. But as time has changed and we've gone to different places, our operators recommended that we don't split the route at Wilmot, but we keep it at Kolb Road and do the Sabino Canyon area. What it protects is we have a lot of people on the Speedway route that go to the Walmart at Colburn Speedway or the Lowe's across the street. So by not splitting it at Wilmot, we would be able to take care of it at Kolb Road and still do the same as we do today. The difference is on Wilmot Road, there's a couple of hospitals, so that is where the on-demand zone comes in and helps supplement our fixed route. So if you usually use this route or another route to get into that area, then you could transfer to the smaller Sun On Demand vehicle, and it could actually take you right up to that business that you need to get to off of Wilmot between Speedway and Broadway. So if you want to change to the next one. So this is the Route 8, and this is that you can see in red, this is that area that I was talking about that we were going to transfer to the Route 4. Obviously, this starts at Broadway, so it would be from Speedway to Udall or on Kolb Road. We're going to ask you to give us your feedback on that Route 4. But if you're not able to use this part of Route 8, Route 3 also still goes on Wilmot to 5th Street, and you also have the Route 5, which travels on Pima, and then Tanque Verde to Udall. We will lose about a mile between Pima and 6th Street. Depending on which route you use, it's still walkable, but we also want you to be able to feel confident that you can use another service to get to those destinations in that 1 mile area. Both the Route 4 and the Route 9 are looking at extending our weekend schedule to 11 p.m. on Saturday and 10 p.m. on Sunday. However, the frequency at this time won't change, won't get larger because we still maintain that cost neutral. But the Route 8, because by removing that split on the Broadway route, we would be able to continue the 15-minute service that's on the west side all the way through the entire route from downtown to Houghton Park and Ride. But that also would not require that we have an express route in the morning, because we start the Broadway route actually earlier than the express route. It's one trip in each direction, but with the route being every 15 minutes, somebody will still be able to get to downtown or from downtown to another part in the same amount of time. So can you go to the next one? And then Route 9, so in that very first slide when I talk about Route 4, the cold portion of Route 4 would go to the Route 9. This is what it would happen. So when we're traveling by driving or other ways in Tucson, Kolb Road naturally curves into Grant Road or vice versa. It makes sense for driving and operation and getting there quickly and faster. The frequency would change on here in that it would be 30 minutes, which is really what the route needs. And then there's only a couple of times of day where it needs the 20-minute service, and we would continue that. But primarily the route would be 30 minutes from Pima College West, along Grant Road, then Kolb Road up to Pima College East. Again, we'd extend the service on Saturday and Sunday to cover trips up to 11 and 10 p.m. And I think the next one. And then the last change for service that we're looking at is merging the express routes, 102 and 104. People's travel habits have changed a lot since the COVID pandemic. And we find that our express routes don't have as much ridership as they did before. Both the 102 and the 104 travel along Ina Road and then take the interstate downtown. That portion from downtown to the U of A, we do on 102, but we also do that on the 103 Express. So people go back and forth between using the 102 in one direction and the 103 in the other direction. So we would actually merge 102 and 104 from Lambert Park down, changes its name, First Avenue to Ina, cross the interstate, pick up at the Crossroads Park, come off the highway or come down to the highway at Arizona Pavilions or Cotero Farmers Road, and then to downtown. And the reverse. We would renumber the route to be the 124, combining the 102 and the 104. And because the 103 actually calls itself the Downtown Express, we would give it the Northwest U of A Express name. And that is it for our service changes. Pretty sure.
Did you want to take questions now about service changes, Davida, or do you want to wait till?
No, let's take some questions now about service changes. I was just double checking my notes, make sure that I hadn't missed anything.
Okay.
Are there any questions?
Oh, we got some already.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you for hosting this. I had a question for this route. So, 104X currently, like in the morning for the Southwest route, I think the first stop, actually, I'm not sure where the first stop is, but the second stop is at Crossroad at Silver Bell, and then
Correct.
it goes downtown. And I use it daily for work. So my question is, like, with the addition of stops on Ina and Lambert, would the stop at Crossroad at Silver Bell be pushed later, or would it be at the same time and the earlier stops would be earlier in the morning?
So the plan right now is the Crossroads stop would stay at the time it is right now. And because the 102 goes downtown a little bit earlier, that would pick up those earlier stops. So they actually start a little earlier than the 104. So the plan is that the 104 stop would be about the same time as it is now and still get everybody downtown about the same time.
Gotcha. That works because the way it is currently, like I think it arrives on time for me to like complete like a full workday and then leave on time. But if
Okay.
it gets pushed later, then I wouldn't be able to fulfill like all 9 hours I would need to work.
I see.
Yeah.
Would it be okay if it went a little earlier?
Earlier is good. I mean, unlike 204X that also services the same stop, like this only has one time.
Right?
204X has 3 different times. Like since we don't have that flexibility, any later would not work, but earlier is fine, you know.
Okay. It'd only be a few minutes. Right now, the 102, I had to pull up my right guide, starts up at Lambert and Riverfront Park at 6:37. And so they get to I-10 about 6:56, which is about the time that your route starts. So that might, they might be pushed a couple minutes earlier.
Yeah, that works.
Across the board, but the intent is to keep them about the same time as they are now.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Erin.
All right, Sylvia.
Hi. I
Hi,
go to the Caremore Center there on Speedway and Kolb
Yes,
on the
ma'am.
north. Okay. And sometimes I ride the Houghton bus, sometimes I ride the Kolb and Golf Links bus, depending on the time of my appointment. So
Right.
if the bus is going to turn left onto Kolb, where would I get off the bus?
There would be a stop right there at the intersection. We
By
don't
the Lowe's?
currently have one there because we don't currently go north
Right.
on Kolb Road,
Yeah.
but there would still be a stop there. But that would cause you to cross the street, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I have to
If you
cross the
took
street
that-
anyway.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I
if
cross
we-
2 streets depending on which bus I take, or one
if we-
street or 2 streets, and I would prefer to only cross one. It's scary out
understand.
there.
Oh, I understand that's a big intersection at Kolb and
Yes.
Speedway.
Yes.
But if we kept the route out turning at Kolb, that would make it so it wouldn't matter which bus you got on. Still,
Okay.
that wouldn't change your travel.
Okay.
Um,
Thank you.
so I would say that you would prefer us to make that turn at Kolb Road instead of Wilmot.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay. I appreciate your input, Sylvia.
Yeah, thank you.
Madison.
Hi, yeah. Thank you so much for putting this on this afternoon so I can make this. Very curious as to the reasoning behind combining. I heard that it was partly because COVID and riders went down between the 102 and the 104X. Is there any data or any like real, true, concrete reasoning as to why the ridership has gone down?
Yes, actually there is. So because of the way businesses changed how they were operating, we still have a lot of people that work hybrid. So some go into the office, some work from home, some have a mixture. I know Pima County has all of their employees back, but we do still have businesses that do both. And then the other things that we have found is those are mainly the big habit change. Other than that, we haven't, all of the expresses have lost ridership over time. We only have a couple of that are building back up. Unfortunately, these are two of those routes, even from when we did the COA in 2022, 2023, we were doing the outreach and doing all of the checks and comments. Even when we did our onboard survey in 2025, we found that the ridership was still very, very low compared to what it had been 6-7 years ago. And a lot of it has to do with maybe people changed their jobs or no longer need to go downtown, but a big portion of it that we're finding is that during COVID, people changed their work habits, and not everyone has gone completely back to the office 5 days a week anymore.
Okay, that's interesting. Because I work at Caterpillar and I have a lot of coworkers who live in both of those areas.
So I would hope, yeah.
And combining that route and making it longer for people, especially in that like Oro Valley section, just would discourage them to coming and using that route a bit more. So that's just my only thoughts.
That's a good point. Their pickup times, what they currently have, would not change significantly within 5 minutes of what it is today. As I mentioned to Aaron, the times are such that when those two routes, when they get to their last, that stop closest to I-10 is very similar. So the most that the timing would change would be in that 5 minutes, and it would be 5 minutes earlier. So their time on the bus would not be greater than it is right now. So I'm not sure if you do have lots of coworkers at Caterpillar, we'd be happy to get them information about those routes now. But I appreciate your comment, and I would appreciate anything that you send to us.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Sylvia.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, is the 4 going to extend time to 11 and 10 o'clock on the weekends, or was that just the 8?
No, the 4, all 3 routes, the Route 4, the Speedway route, the Route 9 on Grant and Kolb, and the Route 8 on Broadway would all extend their Saturday to 11 p.m. and Sunday to 10 p.m.
Thank you, because when we go down for a second Saturday or anything down on Congress, I'm racing before an event is over to get a bus to get home.
Okay.
So this is wonderful. Thank you.
Okay.
And I'm sure people who work late appreciate that too.
Well, I'm glad that would be helpful to you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, do you want to talk about bus stops?
Yep, if there's no more questions about service, let's go to the next slide, which is
11 o'clock on Saturdays and 10
part of our bus stop improvements.
All right.
So, we also received a couple years ago a Federal Transit Administration grant for bus and bus facilities, and one of the elements of our grant is to improve and make our current bus stop signs more accessible. So we have a picture of kind of an example of what our current bus stop sign looks like. It is 12 inches wide and 24 inches tall, so it's about half the size of the bigger sign. I guess the pictures don't quite look the same, but this is what kind of information we currently have on our existing sign. So what we're asking people is, one, what should we have on the new sign? We have more area. Do we need to make things larger? Do we need to add more information? Do we need to take away information? But we have a sign that's about twice the size. Currently, our bus stop sign is mounted on the end, so it's kind of like a flag. If we go to the 24 by 24 inch sign, the post will be down the middle of the sign. And then we have two smaller signs that we can put below the large sign.
The small,
And
no.
the smaller sign, the smallest of the three signs, we would be able to add braille information of what's above. So that way we can make it more accessible for people who are visually impaired, or they need to make sure that they're at the right bus stop. So mostly what we want to do right now is hear from you of things that you would like to see on our bus stop signs. And then when we collect all of our information, we'll be able to do some samples, and then we'll be going out to the public again. So this project will be ongoing for a while. So is there anyone that has any information that you think that we should make sure that we have on the sign? Yes, ma'am.
Is that me, Sylvia?
No, I'm sorry, I can't see the name. Christine first, please.
Hi, yeah, thank you for hosting this. I'm not super familiar with all the signs around town right now and what they look like. I'm assuming the one on the left is kind of representative of what's usually out there. And one thing that strikes me that might be useful is like a QR code to take people to the Tran website where there's maps and other routes and things like that.
Okay, that's a great, that's something we've heard already. Is there a position of where you would like to see that on the sign? Because this sign, the big sign, the tallest of the signs, has to be 7 feet off the ground. And I realize that sounds like really high up, but that's where, if you're walking on the street, you'll see that they're already posted that high. So is there a location where you would want that QR code?
Maybe, I mean, it makes sense to me to have it near the suntran.com, so it's kind
Okay.
of showing where it's going, but the other place it would fit really easily is right in the bus window, I guess.
Oh, yeah, hadn't even thought about that. Perfect. Thank you, Christine. And Sylvia, you had something?
Yeah, the destination for that bus in that direction.
What do you mean by the destination?
Downtown, the number 4 going downtown, the number 4 going to Houghton, the number 4
Okay.
going to, yeah.
So like where its final destination?
Yes. I've seen many people on the wrong side of the street.
Oh, I understand.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, that's a good point. And thank you, Sylvia.
I've been a bus rider since I gave up my car in 2007, so this is really hitting home for me. Thank you.
Well, thank you. That's amazing. Aaron.
Yeah, I don't know what all the different bus stops look like, but could we add like the bus stop name on the sign, like Church and Pennington? Because near downtown, they're all very close to each other. And sometimes I'm not super sure if that's the correct bus stop.
No, that is one of the things that we thought of internally when we were trying to think of all the stuff that we would like. So it's good to hear that somebody else would like to have the bus stop name on the sign.
Mhm.
And Christine, this is kind of an example of what we have for all of our signs that are on post. We also do have a smaller sign that's on the shelter, but we're looking at making all of the signs be on a post because the shelter signs, people tell us, are too small or they're too high, and it's not consistent where the signpost is. So we want to try. I mean, it won't be perfect because we still have to worry about the sidewalk or the pedestrian path, but it would be more consistent to have a signpost. So we're looking at going completely to vertical signs on posts for our future bus stop signs. Did anybody else have any ideas or suggestions?
There's
And
a
you're
couple
welcome
of
to put it in the
things
chat.
in the chat that I was trying to access. Let me see if I can see them. Oh, so somebody did mention if this included updating the signs posted on the physical shelters because they're different sizes. So you just answered that.
Yep.
And then there was another one that was talking about the routes, a request that they put in, but it looks
Thank
like
you.
it's just some feedback. Go ahead. Is that Vanessa?
Hi, yes. Thank you for hosting. I had a suggestion that maybe you guys could put on like common times that you could or like ballpark times that you could expect the bus, Like if a bus comes every 30 minutes, you could be like, oh, 7:30 or something like that.
Okay.
So maybe like
I don't know
frequency,
how.
like every 30 minutes or
Yeah,
something.
like frequency and an example. 'Cause I feel like that's Well, I'm mostly going off of when people ask me questions about the bus. Um, and that's what they're like always asking about. But sometimes I don't know the frequency times and I don't know a ballpark time to give them.
Okay. Thank you.
Go ahead, Madison.
Yeah, I really like the idea of the ballpark signs, and maybe a good way to have an indicator for that is to maybe you can color code each of the routes as like, oh, this color code means that it comes every 30 minutes, or this color code, comes every hour. Since City of Tucson, that's how you guys run your buses, and I know having a lot of text can be pretty uncumbersome to say the least. So yeah, making a better kind of visual potentially for users to have a better experience so they can see the frequency of each of those a bit better.
Okay. We'll have to think about how to do that. Thank you. That's pretty much all I had to share today. I do appreciate all of you joining us. You're welcome to add more information into the chat if you'd like, but you can also always call our 520-792-922 phone number, which is customer service. They'll be happy to take your comments. But we also have our email address is suntraninfo@tucsonaz.gov. And every comment that you provide for us will be part of our
If
record.
somebody would like to say something.
Oh, sure. Who is that?
My name's Michelle.
Hi, Michelle.
Yeah, on some of these buses, when you're asking a driver, I'm trying to get to this point, they look at you like you've grown 3 heads and they go, well, read the book. And you're like, I would if you guys had any books, but you don't have any. So how do I get here? And they look at you like, well, what's your problem? Or they pretty much say, get off here when you're getting off at the wrong stop because they don't seem to understand. So how do we get people to the right areas they need to get to without having a driver say, get off here when you're not supposed to get off there?
What do you think of the changes?
And the changes, I'm sorry, but your changes, no. You're wanting to cut routes, but when you want to cut these routes, what are we supposed to do? There are people that depend on these to get to doctors, to hospitals, to where they need to get to. You cut them, how are they supposed to get there?
Okay. So one
And
of the things,
I do like Mr. Brendan's idea. I mean, I do like the idea that he gave you because I've seen it and I'm like, that would actually help a lot more people.
well,
That was
we
your idea.
definitely will take Brendan's idea that I'm guessing that's what was printed at the top because it looked very familiar to me. And we will add it definitely into our comments and into our deliberations. So right now, these 10 meetings, this is the second of 10, we are collecting information. And from this information, we may make some adjustments or tweaks, and then we provide all of the information and to include those who have come to our meetings, information that you have provided us at the meetings, and any final recommendations. We provide that to the mayor and council for their to look at, and then they will we're planning a public hearing at the end of May, beginning of June. And when they have their public hearing, mayor and council will make the final decision if we continue forward, if we don't move forward, or if we go back to the drawing board. So I just wanted to make sure that you understand this is just right now, we're collecting information. The final decision isn't made until mayor and council make it. Madison, you had another question?
Yeah, I actually I'm curious about this. If the city of Tucson has looked into the app called One Bus Away. And basically it's a tracker for buses. So if they come late or if they're going to be coming slightly early, they can track the buses like at the stop sign. So say you're at the stop sign and you can be like, oh, how far away is this bus? You can pull up a One Bus Away app and then see how far away that actual bus is to that stop. Has the city of Tucson looked into something like that?
I haven't looked at that particular app, but our current app is powered by Transit Royale, the new Tran app, and it does have that capability that when you are on the Transit app or Tran app, if that's what you want to call it, and you're tracking, I'm standing at the bus. I used it just this Friday where I was at the bus very early. So I could watch the bus get to the end of the line and then come towards me. So I could actually watch the path of the bus that I was going to get on our new app. And if you do happen to go to our website or on the back of the current ride guide, there is a way to QR code that takes you really quick to the Apple Store or the Google Play Store where you can download our new app that we use. And that's one of the things that we had a lot of people ask about. I want to be able to track my bus and see it coming. And so the app we currently use for planning and riding does do that. I don't know if it's different than one bus away. I'll have to look up that and see what the differences are. But I do know that our current app does a great job at telling me when the bus is coming or when the next bus is coming, because it's using what we call GTFS real time. So it's using our real time data that's being transmitted by the buses.
Awesome.
I put a
Yeah.
link to that app as well in the chat, so if anybody wants to check it out. Go ahead, Sylvia.
We have to unmute Sylvia.
I can't. She has to unmute herself.
Okay. I want to share an experience that was a little disheartening. I rarely go out on the weekends because of the long span of time between the buses. And I chose to go to the Japanese festival there on River Road. And when I got to the transfer point across from the mall, what is that called? Tohono Jewel or
Tohono.
something like that.
Mhm.
I rode the 15 there, and I went to the kiosk to ask about the next bus, and that person had, where is this bus? You know, with all those buses there, I had no idea where to get the next bus. And the person behind the kiosk, after working on their phone, looked up and said, I don't know.
Okay.
And then someone pointed me to the bus, and the bus driver didn't know where the Chinese Cultural Center was. And I think that's a big venue that every bus driver should know on that route. So it was
Okay.
just a little disheartening and a little scary for me being out on a Saturday that I might not find my way there.
Well, I'm sorry you didn't have a good experience, but that's good
Thank you.
information for us to know. We can pass it on to our operations team.
Mhm.
But also, I know the Chinese Cultural Center has been doing a lot more stuff, so maybe we can help pass that information on. I appreciate you pointing that out.
Thank you.
So Vito, we got a question in the chat about maybe you can speak to this, if there's going to be any physical upgrades to some of the bus stops.
There are plans for physical upgrades to stops all the time. We do have the same grant that we're working on to change our signage to make it more accessible. We do have 80 bus stops that are looking to get new amenities to include shelters that don't currently have shelters. But that process is going to take probably another year because right now we're going through some federal reporting requirements that we have to do before we can break ground. But anytime that you have a bus stop that you go to that's doesn't have the infrastructure or the needs that you have, please let us know because we do maintain a priority list. I will tell you our priority list is greater than our resources, than our financial resources. But as we get funding that we can use towards improvements, we do go back to that priority list. So please feel free to send that information in to us.
Well, I'm at it again. I want to know why you've taken away benches from some of these bus stops, especially the ones that don't have a shelter. And what's the big deal on putting those great big river rocks, trying to move the druggies away when they take the rocks and move them 20 feet away to show you that it makes no difference?
Well, I can definitely pass that on. The safety and security team, and we have a transit safety and security action plan. That's one of the items that was included for improving areas, adding those large rocks to make it uncomfortable to lay down right there. I can let them know that people are moving those rocks, but this is one of those items that they're trying to do to make sure that the bus stop is used by people that are using the bus as opposed to somebody sitting there all day long. And we've been asked in a number of cases to pull the bench for a time being. I will tell you that I fight it every time I do, but if we have a lot of incidents or a lot of occasions where bad behavior is happening at the bus stop, then we have to look at other ways of solving it that's within our ability, in our area of influence. It's not something that we do without a lot of thought. It's really a tough place to be in when we're trying to add new amenities. We're trying to make the bus stops more comfortable when you have to wait, but we also have to balance it with some of the other issues that are happening in our community and how we do that balancing act. So I will tell you, it's not an easy answer. It's not an easy decision that we make, but we are being asked to do that in some cases. We have to do, every time we are asked to remove an amenity like seating or a shelter, we have to do an assessment of the bus stop, both in person and written, and then we pass that on to the DTM leadership and they also consult with the different ward offices depending on the request before we make that final decision of what we do. So I just wanted to let you know it's not being done just willy-nilly or without very careful thought. And it's a challenge for us to do that balancing act.
Mhm. I get it. It's just that the city needs to do, well, in my opinion, it would help if the city would provide some shelters for these homeless folks who want shelter. And I understand not
Right.
all of them want shelter. But to go at it by putting those rocks there to try to dissuade them has not been, in my opinion, from what I see, Speedway and Alvernon has not been effective.
Okay, well, that's good feedback for us to be able to pass on. And I know that Housing and Community Development has been working really hard on doing exactly that, what you suggest, finding alternatives for people that do want shelter. But I will definitely pass that information on.
Thank
I
you, Danita.
appreciate that, Sylvia.
And I saw for the first time the transit security vehicle pull up at Speedway in Alvernon and tell the people that were hanging out there either get on the bus or move.
And they did.
Well, 2 people got on the bus.
Okay.
I don't know what happened to the rest because the bus took off. And I
Okay.
was,
And you
I
were
was
on the
out
bus
of my mind thinking that the bus was moving on its own because I thought the bus driver had gotten off. I'm screaming, the bus is moving, the bus is moving.
Oh, but he was still driving. That's awesome. Well, I thank you, Sylvia.
Oh, that was my laugh for the day.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
I'm also adding to the chat just the webpage that is going to have the recording of this meeting on there tomorrow. It also has a submission form if anybody wants to submit any comments. And there's also, what else is that? A brochure and slides there. So if anybody wants to look at the meeting materials or pass it on to coworkers or anyone else who may be affected, we do have a webpage where you can see all of that on your own time.
We do appreciate your comments. We're always looking for something negative, positive, even neutral. If you're okay either way, we would like to know that as well. But we are gathering all of your comments, and I will assure you that they are all being read and taken into consideration as we make our final recommendations to mayor and council.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us.
Appreciate it.